Hi, I'm Dana. It's time for this week's question, and it comes from Becky. And she writes, my 8-month-old daughter goes to sleep well around 8 p.m. and generally sleeps through the night. If she wakes, she only cries for 2 minutes and then goes back to sleep. But she almost always wakes between 5 and 5:15 a.m. We have tried doing the leave and check method as we did with our original sleep training, and only on rare occasions does she go back to sleep. Usually she just cries until I get up and feed her, which I've decided will be no earlier than 5:45. Should I just give up and start our day at 5? Good question, Becky, and this is actually a fairly common one. Early morning wake-ups are common, and they're often the hardest thing to change. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they're really tough. They're tricky. But there's a few things you can do here. I wouldn't change her bedtime, okay? 8 p.m. is a perfectly good bedtime, and I know it's everyone's temptation to start moving bedtime later and later in hopes that the baby will sleep later into the morning, and I just find 9 times out of 10 it just backfires, meaning they wake up at the same time, but they had less sleep than they normally get, so now they're starting the day off grumpy, and that just sort of snowballs into the next, and it can also even affect wake-up time for the negative, meaning that they wake up even earlier because they've gone to bed too late. Okay, so I would definitely not move her bedtime. What you can try, though, is if you know she's usually up around 5, go in quickly. And I know most of the other wake-ups I'll suggest to people that you wait and don't rush in. But at 5 o'clock, sometimes going in quickly, you can catch her before she really wakes up. And you just, cover her back up, tell her it's still nighty-night time, give her a few strokes, give her back her teddy if she has one, and, just stay for a few minutes and calmly remind her it's still nighty-night, it's still sleepy time, and then make your exit. And you really do have to pick a minimum, and I don't usually suggest it's much before 6. The risk you run in starting your day at 5 is that 5 becomes 5:45, 4:45, 4:30, and it just tends to creep earlier and earlier and earlier. So I really would resist getting up anything before 6. Also, too, something you mentioned is that she cries until you get up and feed her, and I'm guessing that this must be breast milk. So some children will wake up too early, really anticipating that morning nursing session. And so they wake up early, cry until you finally give in and give it to them. And it's almost like they're waking up early because of the feeding. So often by just delaying the morning nurse a little bit, and even by 10 or 15 minutes, or maybe you try breakfast first and then go to the nursing, just to break that connection between waking up and getting nursed. That can help, okay? So try doing that. Otherwise, you are, leaving and checking on her is good, although it doesn't seem like it's gotten you very far so far. So try going in quickly, remind her it's still nighty-night time, stay for a few minutes, and then stay out until 6 and see if she'll go back to sleep that way. The good news about early morning wake-ups is that they do eventually fade, and if you've picked a minimum, the baby will start sleeping until the minimum, and often even later. So you're on the right track. I know it's frustrating, and it's a really sort of negative way to start your day, but try making a few subtle changes, switching your feeding time and going in quickly, and see if that helps. Again, don't expect anything too quickly. Early morning wake-ups often take a couple of weeks to fix. So hang in there. I know it can be frustrating, but try to remember all the positives. It sounds like you've come a long way so far, and she's sleeping the majority of the night. So that's a good start, and this is just your last little challenge. So hang in there, and thanks again for your question. Sleep well.